We're going to continue talking about rates and unit prices. We've talked about what they are and how to get a unit rate or a unit price. And now we're going to use those to solve problems, okay? So in this question here, it says Amanda can jog 18 miles in 6 hours. How many miles can she jog in 8 hours? So the first thing you're going to do is you are going to find the rate that is given. The rate is always given in the problem. So in this case, it says the rate is 18 miles. She can jog 18 miles in 6 hours. In 6 hours. Okay? The next thing we're going to do is we're going to find the unit rate. So the unit rate is how many miles the unit rate is when we get the denominator to 1. Now, one thing that you have to know is that this rate could say in 6 hours per 18 miles. We could write it that way. One thing you have to know is that whatever you want your answer to be in, that has to be at the top of the rate. So in this case, miles is at the top of the rate. At the end of the problem, your answer should be miles. So you have to decide, is the question they're asking going to need a label or an answer in miles? This says how many miles can she jog? How many miles can she jog in 8 hours? So I know that my label for my answer at the end is going to be in miles, which is why I put miles at the top of the rate. Okay, so now that we have the rate, we can get the unit rate. And the unit rate is when we take the numerator divided by the denominator, and 18 divided by 6 is 3 miles per 1 hour. 3 miles per 1 hour. Okay? Now, how do we use the unit rate to solve the problem? To get the solution. Okay? Well, to get the solution, we will take the unit rate times, okay, let me get a different color, times how many hours she jogs. How many miles can she jog in 8 hours? So we're going to take this times 8 hours. And since this is kind of like multiplying fractions, I'm just going to put this over 1. Okay? So it says 3 miles per 1 hour times 8 hours over 1. Okay? The most important thing when you're doing these problems is to double check that your labels cross cancel. Okay? Labels can cross cancel. Okay? So in this case, this label and this label, hours, can cross cancel. They can go away because it's just like if this was a 5 and that was a 5, they would cancel and we wouldn't have to worry about it. Okay? So the labels cross cancel, and then we multiply across. Okay? 3 times 8 is 24, and 1 times 1 is 1. So your solution would be 24 miles. Okay? And our label is what's left. So how many miles can she jog in 8 hours? She can jog 24 miles. Okay, so we found the rate, we made a unit rate, and then we solved the problem. Let's try another one. Okay, let's try another one here. Jake can deliver 644 newspapers in 7 hours. So the rate is 644 newspapers in 7 hours. Okay, newspapers in 7 hours. Okay, the unit rate is 644 divided by 7. So I'm going to pull out the calculator because you can use those. 92. Okay, so our 644 divided by 7 on the calculator is 92. So 92 newspapers per 1 hour. Okay? Now, we're going to find the solution. Okay, solution is the answer. By timesing the unit rate by, it says how many newspapers can he deliver in 9 hours? How many newspapers? So our answer is going to be in newspapers, so that's on the top. So we know our rate is in the correct order. How many newspapers can you deliver in 9 hours? We're going to take this unit rate times 9 hours. Okay, 92 times 9, 92 times 9, I did on the calculator, and I got 828. 828. The hours can't cross cancel, so our label is newspapers. So I'm going to write NP for newspapers because I don't have a lot of room. 828 newspapers would be my answer because 1 times 1 over 1, you don't need it. Okay? So Jake can deliver 644 newspapers in 7 hours. That was our rate. The unit rate of that was 92 newspapers per 1 hour. We took the unit rate times how many hours he was going to deliver, and we got 828 newspapers. These hours canceled, left us with this as our label. So in 9 hours, Jake could deliver 828 newspapers. Okay, let's try one more. And this is a problem that we've done already before. Okay. When we did the Hy-Vee problem, there was at Hy-Vee you could buy 7 apples for $4.55. So $4.55 times 7 or over 7 apples per 7 apples. The unit price, instead of a unit rate, since it's money, it's unit price, was 65 cents per apple. How much does 11 apples cost? So to find our solution, or the answer, we're going to take the unit price times 11 apples. Which equals, let's see, apples cancels, 65 cents times 11. So I'm going to take my calculator out. 65 cents times 11 was $7.15. So I get $7.15. Okay, and the reason that my label is dollars is because that's the label that's left. So how much does 11 apples cost? 11 apples cost $7.15. How did we get that answer? We used the unit price that we got from our unit rate. Okay, these are a few examples of how to use a unit rate to solve for the solution to a unit rate problem, to a rate problem. Please make sure, okay, please make sure that every time you do these problems, you are writing the rate, the unit rate or price, depending on if it's dollars, okay? We typically just refer to it as a unit rate, but since this is money, it's unit price, so you're writing the rate, the unit rate, and the solution every single time, okay? Rate, unit rate, and then the solution, the answer, every single time. And you're gonna have to do that on your Khan Academy, you're gonna have to do that on some of your other practices, and you need to make sure that you're showing your work every time. Another reason that you're gonna need to show your work more clearly now is because the fact that you can use a calculator like we've talked about. Okay, so if you have questions, please let me know. Rewatch the video if you didn't quite understand, but this was how to use unit rates, and unit rates to solve problems.